Hi, this is going to be the September 2020 tarot reading for people under the sign of Libra. And this applies if you have your moon in Libra, or if you have your sun in Libra, or if your rising sign is in Libra, or if your part of fortune sign is in Libra. And as I've explained in other videos, roughly around 30% of the population has a part of fortune, a rising sign, moon, or sun in Libra, or in any sign really generally. So yeah, that basically applies for any sign really. So like there's a lot of people, you know, um, with Libra in their charts prominently, right? So this reading is not going to resonate. Everything's not going to resonate for every Libra, but for quite a few of you, there's going to be a lot that resonates, and for quite a few of you, there's going to be a good bit that resonates. And for some of you, there's going to be less that resonates. So take what resonates and leave the rest. Yeah. Um, that being said, I also offer private readings. So if anyone's interested in that, the link to that is in the description of the video. And private readings would be done over Skype, and they're a lot more. Um, they're specific for one person, so it would be a lot more of it would resonate for you and your situation. But anyway, and also coming soon, rogerthewise.com. Yeah, I'll start now. Yeah, again, this is the tarot card reading for September 2020 for people born under the sign of Libra. And also this will apply as well if you have multiple planets or points in Libra, important points and planets. And yeah, this could apply to you as well then. So yeah. Hmm. The astrological month, or the astrological, geez Louise, I butchered that. Um, the astrological influences for the month are the North Node in Scorpio in the 10th house. Um, hmm. um, hmm. I explained the nodes in the Virgo video I uploaded yesterday. Um, I gave a brief description of them and their significance in astrology and all that. So you can check that out if you want in the Virgo video for September 2020. But just to summarize, the North Node represents essentially the direction that our souls are going towards. Um, so like, and uh, and that basically consists of like lessons that we're supposed to learn, lessons that our souls want to learn, lessons that uh, God wants us to learn, all that stuff, right? Um, so the sign position of the North Node in the natal chart, it it signifies basically, uh, it tells you a lot about the direction that the person is heading in, essentially. And generally, it represents an area where, in natal charts and astrology, where the native isn't really, it's generally an area that hasn't really been developed yet, as well as could be. So it's basically an area, its sign position, house position represent areas that the soul basically wants to work on, yeah, to evolve and grow and clear away karma and all that stuff, right? So the North Node in Scorpio in the 10th house. Yeah, hmm. The North Node can represent faded connections, um, uh, faded meetings, faded circumstances. Um, it can represent like finding your way, like finding your calling. You know, like it can represent epiphanies and realizations. You know, spiritual breakthroughs. Um, it also obviously represents the general trajectory that the person is going along, um, the soul is going along. Okay, the North Node in Scorpio in the 10th house. This signifies that for Libras during September 2020, um, this is going to be a fated month. It's a karmic month. It's um, it's going to be an important month um, because the North Node represents important fated circumstances and happenings. Um, while the 10th house represents the 10th house is one of the two strongest houses along with the first. And the 10th represents career and the person's status and achievement in society as a whole, like larger society as a whole, um, and accomplishment, essentially. That's the 10th house also, yeah, obviously represents accomplishment as well, and public standing, acclaim, and stuff like that. Um, Scorpio represents intensity. It represents um, um, it represents emotions that are um, well, Scorpios, they're known for having like extremely intense emotions, um, very strong-willed, powerful, magnetic. Uh, the sign is it's known as being a spiritually gifted sign. It's a sign of old souls and advanced souls and stuff like that. Um, it's an occult sign. Um, a lot of Scorpios, it's more than most signs. Scorpios have a talent for like the occult or psychic, things. So the North Node in the 10th house. Okay, yeah, in Scorpio. This represents that during September 2020, for Libras, you're going to be having faded experiences that are going to do with, for some of you, these faded experiences and these quantum leaps, I guess, because these faded experiences, they could create quantum leaps in your life, essentially, where like um, sudden epiphanies could happen and realizations that kind of change everything, for good or ill. But it's North Node, so it's generally actually good. It's these things that happen. Um, so this could mean for some of you that during September 2020, that Scorpio people um, could become more prominent in your lives um, and play a more important role in your lives. Um, so like people, like I said earlier, sun, moon, ascendant, rising, or sun, moon, rising sign, or part of fortune sign in Scorpio, they could become more prominent and more pivotal and more um, prominent or pivotal in your life during September 2020. And also people that have several planets in Scorpio as well could be. Um, this could also mean that um, with the North Node being in Scorpio in the 10th, this could mean that like for some of you as well, that mystical or spiritual experiences that play a pivotal or groundbreaking or influential role in your life could be happening this month for you. Um, for some of you, this could indicate that faded experiences could be happening regarding your careers. For some of you, it could represent meeting like a person that helps you in your careers. Someone that it could represent, getting a job that, is good for you, like a promotion, meeting someone that helps your career in some way or helps your standing in society in some way. You could represent Scorpio as a sign of evolution, and the North Node obviously represents evolution. The 10th house is one of the two most powerful houses, so you can meet people that help you evolve during September 2020. People could become more prominent in your life that could help you evolve, may play a greater role. Scorpio can represent experiences or feelings that, although real and although meaningful and like, profound, can be difficult to explain, or even define, So it could represent for some of you experiences that although pivotal for you, perhaps are hard to grasp. For some of you, it could definitely represent advancement in your careers in some way, promotion, raise, something like that. Perhaps for some of you, you may lose your job, but actually wind up getting a better one, like a week or two later, something like that, right? Or shortly thereafter, as a result. Heightened psychic, jeez Louise. Anyway, for some of you, there could definitely be heightened psychic sensitivity during the month. For some of you, it could represent development of psychic abilities. For some of you, it could represent someone who helps you develop your psychic abilities. Scorpio is an occult sign. For some of you, it could represent starting spiritual practices of some sort, like yoga or some sort of magical tradition, like Wicca or ceremonial magic or something like that. We're joining perhaps like a magical group, like a group of a coven or something. For some of you. For some of you, it could represent important happenings like regarding your religion or joining a religious group of some sort, meeting someone in your church that's that helps you grow spiritually or something like that. Um, if you're a member of an organized religion, one of the more traditional religions, for some of you that are more open spiritually, it can represent meeting someone who helps you, yeah, helps you grow spiritually and kind of sheds light on things and stuff like that. Um, yeah, those are possible manifestations. For some of you, like many of those could apply. Um, for some of you, only you know, a few or maybe one or two will apply. Um, but yeah, take what resonates and leave the rest. Um, anyway, just a second here. I'll be doing the tarot reading next. Oh yeah, for some of you as well. Um, Scorpio ruled by Mars. Mars, the people that are represented by Mars would be um, athletes, doctors, some doctors, um, especially surgeons, police officers, military personnel, um, paramedics, uh, security guards, security industry people. Um, yeah, people like that. Um, you can meet or a person like that in your life that becomes more prominent, and or a person that you already know in those fields could become more prominent in your life or pivotal in your life this month as well. Um, yeah. Okay. Um, to start off with, um, before I go over the first card, I'll take note of the fact that there are two aces in the spread, the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. This indicates for you Libras that this month is a month of new beginnings. Um, yeah. Um, and that there are definite like opportunities present. Mhm. But like they're seeds that need to be nurtured, essentially, and opportunities that need to be grasped um, in order to be taken advantage of. Um, anyway, card number one, we have the Six of Cups, and I'm using the Radiant Wise Tarot today. Um, hmm. As you can see, the Six of Cups, it represents two children playing. Um, the first card represents where you're at right now, um, at the start of the month. Um, it seems like for you Libras, some of you may be at a place right now where you're enjoying a time of playfulness in your life, a time of fun and pleasure. Um, time of friendliness. Um, this card is a card that represents sex as well, because obviously they're the product of their parents, right? Their parents had to make them somehow, right? So yeah, it's a card of fertility. Um, some of you could be enjoying a relationship. Um, some of you could be some of you that have kids and stuff like that could be enjoying spending time with your kids. Um, huh. Here anyway, I don't think school is starting yet. I think it's been delayed. I'm not sure, but last I heard it was. So I guess the parents, like, you know, they're gonna be spending more time with their kids this fall and stuff like that, right? Um, Probably a fair bit of other places as well. There are. Because the coronavirus issue, it's definitely worse in other countries than it is here in Canada, um, in BC specifically. Um, some of you may be pregnant. Um, some of you may be expecting. Um, Many of you will be enjoying life right now. It's a good card, the first card. It's a good card. It's a good reading, actually. Yeah, it's quite good. Mhm. For the second card, we have the Emperor. The second card represents the second card represents energies or things or circumstances or people that surround the native um, during uh, the month of September. And we have the Emperor here. This indicates that for some of you, there's a person around you that's really powerful, a leader, um, wise, experienced, rational, logical, strong, um, an authority on things, um, influential, hmm, um, someone who holds some sort of worldly power, um, person who perhaps is in a position of authority in some way, an authority figure, a boss. Hmm, um, um, could be a husband, um, could be a father figure or a father, um, or someone with those qualities. Um, um, someone with the qualities of being a good father or husband, someone, um, a pioneer, um, disciplined, someone who's good at creating structures, implementing them. Yeah. For a lot of you, it seems like there's going to be a person like this around you, or someone like this with the Emperor characteristics I stated, that is either around you or is playing a more pivotal role in your life this month. And for some of you, less of you, I'd say, um, you'll be expressing Emperor qualities more so this month for some of you, rather than them being expressed by some um, outward person, right? Um, Card number 3, what's crossing you Libras during the month is the Queen of Swords. What does this indicate? It's an interesting placement. Queen of Swords is a crossing card. Okay, yeah, okay, got it. For some of you, for some of you, for some of you, um, or for a lot of you, actually, it seems like um, there could be a person blocking or slowing your progress. Um, and this person would most likely be a woman. Um, roughly a 66% chance, I'd say, of being a woman, 33% chance of being a man. This person would have air sign characteristics, so they'd either have air sign placements in their astrology chart, or they would have the air sign characteristics. Um, they'd express air sign characteristics if they don't have the air sign placements necessarily. Um, Air sign characteristics, detached, um, detached, logical, but not very intuitive, um, social. They can be cutting with their words and their actions. Can be aggressive or assertive. Um, the Queen of Swords is generally, she's generally represents a person or a woman. Generally, she represents a woman who's been hurt in the past and disappointed and let down by like those that she's cared about, right? And she's learned lessons through those experiences, right? And you know, has as a result of that, has set up boundaries, and and defenses against that. She's the type of person that would readily cut people out of her life. Um, uh, she's has a very sharp mind. Um, she's quite insightful. Um, um, she's good at gauging people. She can analyze them and dissect them. And like I said, her words, could be quite cutting. Um, she has a fair bit of she has above average self-awareness, that's for sure. Um, although uh, she's not really super in touch with her emotions, you know. Um, so a person like this, um, and she'd generally be um, in her 30s upwards, and she'd generally be established in her career and finances and stuff like that. She'd generally have a decent position in society. Um, she would, like a standard example of the Queen of Swords archetype would be a divorced older female, like a woman in her 40s or 50s or so, or 60s or something like that, who is divorced, you know. Um, Probably doesn't have a huge circle of friends. Um, she, so like I said, for a lot of you, this person could be blocking or slowing your progress. And this person, like I said, for most of you, it would be a woman, but for some of you, it would be a man with those characteristics. Um, and for less of you, um, it would be those characteristics, the Queen of Swords characteristics within yourself that's blocking or slowing your progress. Um, that you're expressing yourself, you're expressing the Queen of Swords characteristics that I mentioned, and those characteristics that you're expressing more readily now, or at this point in time, or perhaps slowing or blocking your progress in some way. Um, Queen of Swords can be jaded, that's for sure. Yeah, she can be jaded. She can be jaded. Jeez Louise. I'm gonna drink some water. Hmm. um, hmm. Yep. For card number 4, which is your foundation, um, we have the Ten of Cups. This is a good card for the foundation card. It's a good card. The Queen of Swords, also from the previous card, can represent a bitter person as well. The Queen of Swords can be a bitter person. Not always, definitely not, but people with Queen of Swords characteristics definitely can be, especially at certain points in their lives. So this could represent, that for some of you, then that for some of you that you know the Queen of Swords characteristics are being expressed by you, and that's what's blocking or slowing your progress. In some of these cases, then perhaps your own bitterness could be blocking or slowing your progress. Yeah, that's another insight I thought I should add. But yeah, card number 4, Ten of Cups, which is your foundation. Card number 10, it's one of the best Cups cards. It represents, as you can see, a happy family sitting under a rainbow. They're looking at their home and the trees and the river in the distance, well, not too far distance, And as you can see, there's a lot of the sky is like nice and blue, and there's a rainbow, and there's a river in front of them, and there's all these green trees and grass, and it you know it represents like fertility and abundance, right? Because of those factors, right? And prosperity, uh, due to the time of day, and happy family, and all that. The kids are dancing, the couple, they're holding each other, and looking up at the sky, and a lot of hope, a lot of happiness, a lot of joy in this card, right? So among other things, this card represents happy family, home, happy relationship, happy. It can be represent a start of a relationship too. It can represent general like happiness. Fertility. Yeah. Um, your foundation during September 2020. Um, for some of you, it's going to be, it's in, for some of you, your foundation during September 2020, Libras, is important for your foundation, is your home life. For some of you, it will be your family life or your family. For some of you, it will be your children. For some of you, it will be a relationship you're in or a relationship you're entering. For some of you, it will be some of you may be trying to get pregnant. Yeah, there's aces here too. Huh. You're more fertile this month for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. North Node in Scorpio on the 10th. Yeah. Yeah. That too. Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is one of the cards. 10 of Cups here in the foundation position. 6 of Cups in the starting position. Oh yeah. Yeah. You're more fertile this month, Libras. If you're planning on getting pregnant, this would be the time to put the work in. If you're not, then this would be the time to wrap it up. But yeah, you're more fertile this month. So yeah, keep that in mind, right? That way, depending on your situation, you can get a happy surprise this month, or avoid an unhappy surprise, right? So yeah, you're more fertile this month, Libras. Um, And to begin with, well, you're a fairly fertile sign to begin with because you're ruled by Venus, right? So, um, um, so yeah, based on this card, just to clarify for a minute, well, I say these things could be part of your foundation for the month, and I gave these possibilities like home life, family life, relationship, all that stuff, right? What I mean by that is that those things are, you know, are things that for some of you, depending on which of those resonate for you, for specific Libras, any specific Libra, is that those, whatever of those resonates for you from this card, the Ten of Cups, the in the foundation position, the fourth card, whichever those resonate for you, those are things in your life that um, are important that you keep nurturing, you know, and that you, you know, you give them attention and stuff like that, because it's the foundation card that represents things that are kind of or energies or circumstances or people, you know, that are kind of pivotal to your situation, and important. Yeah. Anyway, for card number 5, we have the Magician. Card number 5 of the reading, it represents energies or circumstances or people that led up to the present situation, that led up to September, that basically brought you to this point, brought you to the beginning of September, right? So the Magician, it's basically the past card. Yeah, it's the past card. What this indicates is that for Libras, is that leading up to September 2020, leading up to September 2020, some of you have tried to make something happen, and depending on which Libra you are, you know, this could be all kinds of things, right? But a fair bit of you have been trying to make something happen. Um, um, and some of you, leading up to September of 2020, have been studying or learning new skills. The Magician, it's the Magician, each tarot card trump is attributed to an astrological factor. The Magician is attributed to Mercury, so the Magician can represent, you know, learning and reading and stuff like that, studies, yeah, learning new skills. For some of you leading up to September, for some of you leading up to September 2020, magic in some way has led you to this point. For some of you, um, for some of you, a masculine person could have led you to this point. Yeah, the energy of the Magician, it's a very masculine, projective energy. For some of you, you learned in the past, leading up into September, to use various tools, and instruments and stuff, and using those things, whatever they may be, has led you into present circumstances. For some of you, a miracle perhaps has led you into present circumstances. Yeah. For card number 6, we have the Four of Discs, or the Four of Pentacles. Card number 6, it's a card, it's what crowns you during September. And this means that this card, it represents an energy or a person or a circumstance that may be present during the month, but may not be. It generally depends on the choices that you make, right? Okay then, so essentially this means that for some of you, during the month, you may be holding on tightly to what you have. These are most likely going to be resources of some sort, but they could be something else as well. They could represent, things that are non-material as well, such as, say, your job, your position in society, your status, a relationship, a person, a way of thinking. Yeah. For some of you, it seems like, yeah, you'll be holding on to something tightly during the month, and it could take any of those possibilities. But most likely for a lot of you, it would be, if this card applies, it would be resources. But it could be other, like I said, it could be other things as well. But for most of you, it would be resources. But yeah. Some of you could be more conservative than usual during the month. Some of you could be more greedy than usual during the month. Some of you could be focused more on what's in front of you during the month. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, some of you could be some of you could be hesitant to start new ventures during the month. Some of you could be scared of starting a business during the month. Some of you could be scared of taking up any investments that pose risks during the month. Any kind of risky investments or anything like that, or investments in general even. Because any investment, or a lot of them generally, like, they have some risk to them, and some obviously have a lot more risk than others, right? But yeah, like for some of you, for sure, you may be hesitant or concerned about, like, starting a business or investment or something like that of some sort. Yeah, or making an investment for fear of losses, right? Or potential losses, right? What we have here is card number 7. Card number 7 represents energies or circumstances from the month that are going to happen around the middle of the month for Libras. Ace of Wands here is good. That's really good. Around the middle of September. That's a really good card for that position. This indicates that around the middle of the month for you Libras, there's going to be a new beginning or a new start of some sort. This could be regarding your career. This could be regarding your personal life. This could be regarding learning some new skill or doing some new activity that helps you, that helps your life, that adds something meaningful and something of value to your life, right? It could represent starting a business. It could represent having a great idea come to you, that changes your life. It could represent a burst of creativity, it could represent gaining new insight, clarity. For some of you, it could represent a new start, a burst of energy for some of you. It could represent fertility. It can represent, and by fertility I mean like not just in a in a reproductive sense, but also in a metaphorical sense as well. The fertile new ground, new opportunity, needs to be grasped and nurtured. It could represent, it could represent an opportunity for sure. Like for a lot of you, it could represent an opportunity during the middle of the month that needs to be grasped or nurtured in order to come to fruition. It could represent the start of something good. Inspiration, illumination. Yeah, it's a good card for the middle of the month. A new start, a potential new start. Any of the aces just represent an opportunity, though. So an opportunity needs to be grasped. So it's it represents a potential. So it's any of the aces, they're not necessarily set in stone. The aces are great, they are. It's just they're not necessarily set in stone because it's it's still an opportunity in the seed stages, in the beginning stages. Like think of like it's a seed. It's not the plant yet, right? It's just a seed. But it's still a seed is they're good, right? But yeah, for card number 8, we have the Strength card for you Libras. Card number 8 represents how you should present yourself during the month. Strength card, how you should present yourself during the month. Okay. This indicates that for you Libras during the month of September, you should present yourself as being in control of your impulses. You should present yourself as having self-control. You should present yourself as having more stability. You should present yourselves as having greater willpower. You should present yourselves as for some of you, it could represent that you should present yourselves more as having like Leo characteristics, which would be like self-confidence, nobility, dignified manner. High energy, strong will, big heart. These are possible manifestations, and some of them, take what resonates and leave the rest. But not all of these are going to apply for every Leo, but these are possibilities. For some of you, you should express a lot of these characteristics. For some of you, you should express some of these characteristics. Yeah. Beyond that, some of you should present yourself during the month as being more passionate. The Strength card is called the Lust card in other decks. So some of you should present yourself as being more sexual. Yeah. For card number 9, we have the Ten of Wands. This indicates that during the month of September, other people see you as having a lot of coals on the fire. Some people will see you as being under stress. Some people see you as having a lot of projects on your plate, a lot of carrying a heavy load. Some people will see you as carrying a heavy burden. Depending on which Libras you are, some of you, this burden may be deserved, some of it may not be. For some of you, people could see you as trying to meet the deadlines, or trying to do too much. For some of you, people could see you as being tired or worn out. For some of you, people could see you as being stressed. Yeah, these are possible manifestations for this. For some of you, people could see you as being punished. And some of you, people could see you as being fairly punished, and some of you could see you, and for some of you others, people could see you as being unfairly punished, depending on which Libras. Yeah. Card number 10 is the Two of Swords. This indicates that for you Libras that card number 10 represents your fears surrounding during the month, or your more prominent fears. Two of Swords. It primarily represents indecision. It can represent not having all the facts, not having all the data, not having all the information regarding something. It can represent not seeing the truth, because as you can see, she's blindfolded. The Two of Swords can represent being at a standstill. So with that being said, your fears regarding September 2020, Libras, could be concerning being indecisive. For some of you, your fears could be you could be scared to make a decision. For some of you, you could be scared of not having all the information or data that you need to make a decision. For some of you, you could be scared of being in the dark, not seeing things clearly. For some of you, you could be scared of rest. For some of you, you could be scared of inner stillness, like presence, or in your meditative state. For some of you, you could be scared of a truce or a peace of some sort. For some of you, yeah, you could be scared of a resolution to a conflict, or a compromise, or a resolution of some sort. For some of you, you could be scared of not fully knowing your options in various areas of your life, depending on which Libra this is, right? Which Libras there are. Yeah. This card, its astrological influence is the Moon in Libra, and this is the reading for Libras, right? So for some of you, you're scared of your own subconscious mind. You're scared of your own subconscious, and the directions that it could possibly take you, and like the decisions it could possibly lead you to, right? To make, right? Yeah, those are your fears, possibilities for your fears during the month. For some of you, like, many of those will resonate. For some of you, several may resonate, and for some of you, generally for most of you, I'd say a fair bit of that will resonate. Most likely. Mouth gets dry, geez Louise. So much talking, like, anyway. We have the Ace of Cups in the we have the Ace of Cups as the final card, the final outcome card. What does this indicate? Well, the cups and cards in general the cups cards in general. The cups represent water. And water represents emotions, feelings, passion, intuition, receptivity. Relationships that have a higher component of intimacy or closeness than a general relationship would, like friendship or that. So they represent relationships such as romantic relationships, sexual relationships. They represent can represent um, yeah, those kind of ones generally. Um, so it could represent fertility. It could represent the start of good feelings. You know, feeling better about yourself, feeling better about your life, having more happiness and joy. Um, for some of you, it could represent the start of a new relationship. Um, and if it's the Ace of Cups, then it'd probably be a decent one or one with potential. Um, for some of you, this could represent a pregnancy. Um, um, for some of you, this could represent the start of new emotions or new feelings or um, greater fulfillment and happiness. It could represent the start of something um, that could bring you greater happiness and joy. Um, for some of you, it could represent beginning to tap into intuitive abilities. Um, um, the aces represent opportunities, though, and so it represents an opportunity that needs to be grasped. Yeah. Um, it's a seed that needs to be nurtured. Yeah. Um, but it's a promising new beginning at the end of the month. So there's two new beginnings during the month. There's one during the middle of the month, the Ace of Wands, and then we have the Ace of Cups at the end of the month, um, which is another new beginning, right? And both of these are opportunities or seeds, opportunities that need to be grasped or seeds that need to be nurtured in order to fully come about. Yeah. They represent potentials. Yeah. They're strong potentials. Um, they're potentials that have the ability to um, manifest if you uh, put the work in, right? Um, it seems like you start off the month feeling um, in a mood of playfulness and joy, and during the middle of the month, you experience a burst of creativity and energy. You feel more alive. And then around the end of the month, as a result of these experiences and feelings from the past, you experience a breakthrough of um, heightened you know heightened feelings of warmth, pleasure, and perhaps love. New love, new joy, new happiness. Yeah, growth. Um, it's a great reading actually. Um, yeah, it's a great reading. Um, hmm. Trying to see if I have anything to add here. Yeah, with the aces here, and with the astrological position or influences of North Node and Scorpio in the 10th, um, it's an important month for you. Um, there's going to be a fair bit of activity and things going on. Um, things going on. Uh, in the foreground, things going on in the background. And like I said, you're definitely going to be more fertile this month, a lot of you. So I keep that in mind. um, Time of new beginnings. Should be a fair bit of happiness this month. It's a good month. Yeah, it's a good reading. Uh, yeah, I don't really have anything to add besides that. Hmm. Hmm. Trying to see if I can see if I have any other insights regarding this. Hmm, not really. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, looks like it's going to be an interesting month. Um, um, make the most of it. Yeah. So, yeah. That's the end.